Russia. Russia, Vladimir Putin, Russia, Russia. Russia hates Russia, Putin, Russia's, Russia, Moscow, Russia, Russian, pro-Russian, the Russians, Moscow, Russia, Putin, Russia against us, the Russians, Russia against the U.S., the Russians, Russian government scheme, the Russians, Vladimir Putin, Russia, Putin and Russia, Moscow, Russia, the Russians, Putin, Russia, the Soviet Empire, the second of the 20th century's great evils, communism, Russia, assault by Russia,
Putin despises the West in general and the United States in particular, the Soviet Empire. Russia. They're the adversary. They want to bring us down, the Soviet Union.
Russia.
Undermine the West, Soviet communists on the left.
Russia. That does it for us tonight. We will
that
see
was
you
all
again.
just one episode, folks. That was one episode of Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. You don't believe me? Then you must believe that Rachel Maddow doesn't change her clothes. So that was the big topic at hand with the first impeachment of Donald Trump. They couldn't find anything meaningful to impeach him for. I sure as hell could, but the Democrats at large couldn't, so they had to make the American people suffer 4 years straight worth of lies, even have impeachment hearings about it that they thought, I don't know what the hell that they were trying to do, but Donald Trump was acquitted, and that makes the impeachment go away. So was he impeached? Well, the House brought charges against him, but the Senate struck him down and acquitted him, so the charges disappear. The impeachment is removed, and he turns out that he was not impeached. So now they impeached him again by the driest, most banal definition of impeachment, just that the House pressed charges or brought charges against him. So that's the simplest definition of impeachment that we can have. And now, once again, the Senate has to try these charges, and they are headed for acquittal again. I mean, just based on the simple fact that they voted for the constitutionality of the impeachment, it was 56 to 44. I mean, 44 out of 100 senators don't even think that these impeachment proceedings are constitutional. How the hell are you going to get, less than 44 of them to somehow vote for what, an unconstitutional impeachment? I mean, talk about going against your oath that you swore to the Constitution. I mean, who the hell wants to step into that mess? Who the hell wants to tarnish their reputation for the rest of their political careers by, first voting that it's not constitutional, and then somehow changing your mind like 2 weeks later that, well, as a matter of fact, and then just not only changing your mind on the constitutionality of it, but changing your mind that, Trump is actually guilty of, inciting the mob. So there's a lot of inciting out there today on both sides of the aisle. There's a lot of mobs out there, too, on both sides of the aisle. The cancel culture is a horror. I'm reading the Amityville Horror right now. There's no horror in the book at all. I mean, I'm a third of the way through the book. I've read a third of the book in about 2 days. 2 days. I mean, I'm just reading a little bit here and there. It's a very simple read. There's no horror in that book at all. This is horror. What's going on in the United States of America today is horror. I mean, there's no poltergeist or ghost or demon or anything else like that from the paranormal realm that can compete with this. This is horrific. This is, these are unprecedented swipes at our freedom of speech. It happens on both sides of the aisle, like everything else. I mean, you can't pin anything to one side of the aisle and not the other. I mean, we can go back to Colin Kaepernick. Say what you want about him. Say what you want about kneeling before an NFL game. Doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. It's just that whenever some bumbling, stupid, little, insignificant example of somebody who says the wrong thing or who makes the wrong gesture, and that comes up, and it's just, you're told what to think and you're told what to do and you're told what to believe. So if you're told that it's politically unacceptable to kneel before a football game, then it's okay when we cancel culture Colin Kaepernick. Okay, but you open the floodgates of hell. You let the dogs of war out. You let Cerberus and Hades and Mars and all the rest of them come pouring out of the gates. Now you're not going to be able to get that gate shut again. I mean, you can close the barn door after you let the horses out. It's not going to do a damn thing to help anybody. It's just it's a two-party a la one-party mess that's been made. You're just gonna fling crap across the aisle and pretend like all the problems come from either one side of the aisle or the other, and they don't. Right now, it's the rage mob from the left that's causing the most damage, and that could easily change. That could easily shift when the government changes power again. It's going to flip parties again. Useless, mindless partisanship, just flip back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's going to flip back again, and then most of the carnage is probably going to come from the right side of the aisle again. So what? I mean, who cares about the trivia? Who cares about where it's coming from next? It's coming, and it's happening. It's getting worse and worse. Our rights are getting more and more violated. I see no reason why it's not going to continue. This latest bout of cancel culture came with Gina Carano, who made some comments comparing, political discrimination to religious discrimination in the 1930s Germany. Is there a comparison there to be made? I think so. I mean, the Holocaust didn't just fall right out of the box immediately. It took time to fester and to, grow in silence of people who were being told what to think and what to do and what to believe and how to feel by their government. And it took years of that, stoking the fire and prepping the people for what was going to come next. And we are, it looks to me anyway, and to Gina Carano as well. Now, she might be Republican and partisan. I'm not, so I don't agree with her on any of that. But she can at least see some of the similarities that are happening. And, it was a process. It's a process here. It's a process in Germany as well. I see the similarities. If you don't, then you're probably not paying very much attention. You probably didn't study history. You probably don't know how Germany had its comeuppance in the 1930s to get where they were in the horrible state of affairs that they created in the 1940s. The similarities are there. And, what's not happening now in 2021 doesn't mean it's not going to be happening in 2024 or 2025 or 2026. I don't think people know how bad it can get. I don't think that people believe that another civil war is possible in this country. I don't think, I think people are, they're on their phones and they're on their internet and they're playing their games and they're constantly distracted by 100 million different things. I don't think that they realize how bad it can get. I think they're living in a bubble reality where they think that, all the problems in the world can't affect them. It can't hurt them. They're, disaffected. They're disconnected from all the ills and all the horrors of the world, and they're not. There is a semblance of stability in this country, in the society, in their lives. So that was one episode of Rachel Maddow, and we're doing it again with this impeachment again, trying to, say that when Trump says fight, he means to go get clubs and sticks and smash windows and attack people and kill people and, yeah, that's what he meant. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that makes sense. He did try to inspire violence in the past. I think, there were previous examples that were a hell of a lot worse than what he did on January 6th. Him saying that, well, in the old days, they used to carry people out on a stretcher. And, just knock the hell out of him and don't worry about it. I'll pay your legal fees. I mean, he was saying some really raunchy shit during the campaign before he was president. That this stuff on January 6th is nothing compared to that. And there were no charges pressed for him against that. This impeachment is a charade. He's going to get acquitted again. And the whole point of impeachment is just to remove a president from office and prevent them from seeking office in the future. Should they try to? Not or. It's not remove him from office or prevent him from seeking office in the future. So, if you have a very literal read of the Constitution says and, it doesn't say or. So, considering the founder's intent, I think that original intent is very important as well in trying to interpret what the hell the Constitution is trying to say. And if we look at the founder's intent, the original intent, they intended for the purpose of impeachment is to remove the president from office. That is the purpose. That's the primary purpose. It's not to, after the president leaves office, then you're going to impeach him after the fact. Now, they voted on the constitutionality of it. The Senate did, 56 to 44. So, if 44 people say it's unconstitutional, is it constitutional? I guess it is, I mean, that's how flimsy constitutionality is sometimes. It can be a very partisan, political 50-50 affair, unfortunately.